Hello, darling companions. I have come because I'm curious about something I ran across, and I thought you might be also. Let's see what it is. I ran across this on Facebook from Love Evolution. Earth is now passing through the photon belt for the next 2,000 years. The journey passed into the main body of the belt on 12/21/12. The photon belt is reportedly a band of intense photon light that is near Earth at this time. A photon is a quantum of light, or the smallest possible packet of light at a given wavelength. It is emitted by an atom during a transition from one energy state to another. So this talks about a cycle, 26,000 year cycle, and this is talking about a spiritual journey and changes that will happen. And like down here, the real task here is for humanity to initiate positive thoughts in order for the higher vibratory electromagnetic field within the photon belt to engage within our beings. Be aware that dark forces are very prevalent on the planet. Know of the photon belt and will elevate negative energy phenomena such as wars and disease to prevent a majority of human beings benefiting from the positive energy feed of the photon belt. It's a fight. It's a battle to determine whether humanity can achieve a higher vibratory state or continue to be enslaved in a lower vibratory state by dark forces. The possible benefits are incredible. A peaceful state of mind, a loving heart, a state of longevity, a state of being disease-free, and a state of all sorts of skills such as telepathy, telekinesis, and teleportation, plus the ability to travel in one's light body throughout the universe, as well as up and down the time stream. So then here's some more information, and this link will be below. So then I'm like, okay, what is this? The photon belt. So I decided to check it out. So when I Googled it, this is one thing that came up. The photon belt is reportedly a band of intense photon light that is near Earth at this time. A photon is a quantum of light, or the smallest possible packet of light at a given wavelength. And this basically says the same thing as the last thing we read. Let's see what else we can find. So this is Wikipedia. And something about Wikipedia is it is written by people like you and I could write something in Wikipedia. And as it says, some of this article's listed sources may not be reliable. So here it says the photon belt, also called the photon band, photon ring, Manasonic ring, or golden nebula, is a spiritual belief largely linked to some parts of the New Age movement. It postulates that a belt or ring of protons is going to envelope the Earth, causing a cataclysm and or initiating a spiritual transition, with the time period leading up to the shift referred to as the quickening. The concept of the photon belt also ties into various phenomena, including belief in extraterrestrial intelligence and 2012 this word. Okay, so part of the history down here is the German engineer and esoterist Paul Otto Hess described his beliefs about the photon belt and its impact on humanity and planet Earth in his book. And here's the name of it. You can look that up yourself. So Samuel, who adopted the idea in the late 1970s, refers to the photon belt as, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this either, Alcyon's ring, or the rings of Alcyone. Weir claims that Alcyone is the principal sun of the Pleiades, and in its orbit gravitates seven suns, and our sun being the seventh, which circles Alcyone. According to Weir, Alcyone has rings made of radiation caused by the splitting of the electron. Weir refers to this radiation as manasic, from the Sanskrit term for the mind, manas, and indicates that it in some way relates to the distinction between the inferior manas, the lower mind or lower self, and the superior manas, higher mind or higher self. Weir purports that the electrons in Alcyone's rings release a type of unknown energy. A number of predictions have been made to the date of the Earth's collisions with the photon belt. Here's the criticism about it on Wikipedia. While the concept of a photon belt is part of the New Age philosophy, some parts of the story can be analyzed scientifically. There is no scientific evidence for the existence of any sort of photon belt. But we'll get to that in a moment. A photon is a boson, one of the elementary particles that carry four forces of physics, in this case. The force that produces light, the electromagnetic force, to the extent that such a thing as a photon belt is physically possible. It would require the gravitational pull of a black hole, with light rays being bent around the black hole near the event horizon, forming a photon sphere. Bearing interaction with gravity or matter, photons otherwise travel in straight lines. Alcyone is a star in the Pleiades cluster some 440 light-years away. So let's look at something else. Now this article is from Deus Nexus. Astronomers tried to explain mysterious photon belt, and this is written in 2014. Here's a picture. I'm not sure where that picture came from. Fluffy mystery at edge of solar system solved. And this is from space.com. So I came over to space.com. And here's the story from 2009. Artist rendering depicts Voyager 2 spacecraft as it studies the outer limits of the heliosphere, a magnetic bubble around the solar system that is created by the solar wind. Scientists observe the magnetic bubble is not spherical but pressed inward in the southern hemisphere, such as that. And then look at this. Our solar system is passing through a cloud of interstellar material that shouldn't be there, astronomers say. And now the decades-old Voyager spacecraft have helped solve the mystery. The cloud is called the local fluff. It is about 30 light-years wide and holds a wispy mix of hydrogen and helium atoms, according to a NASA statement released today. Stars that exploded nearby about 10 million years ago should have crushed the fluff or blown it away. So what's holding it in place? Using data from Voyager, we have discovered a strong magnetic field just outside the solar system, explained Marav Ofer, a NASA heliophysics guest investigator from George Mason University. This magnetic field holds the interstellar cloud together, the fluff, and solves the long-standing puzzle of how it can exist at all. Now, is it possible that the fluff is the photon belt that we're talking about here? It would seem like it is. Whoa! Wait a minute. Somebody said it wasn't real, and now It's looking like it is. Don't you love things like this? I do. Let's look at some more, shall we? The fluff is much more strongly magnetized than anyone had previously suspected. This magnetic field can provide the extra pressure required to resist destruction. So there's a detail in the discovery in the December 24th issue of the Journal of Nature. And then here they go on to talk about the Voyager. And the Voyager craft, racing in opposite directions, have revealed, among other things, that the bubble around our solar system is squashed. This is quite an interesting article. Okay, so let's go down here just a little bit. Blah, 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 blah. Although it's interesting, I don't mean it blah like it's not. Okay, what was I going to redo? Oh, yes, this was what it was. Their strong magnetic fields could compress the heliosphere even more than it is compressed now, according to NASA. Additional compression could allow more cosmic rays to reach the inner solar system, possibly affecting terrestrial climate and the ability of astronauts to travel through space. Terrestrial climate, that's the atmosphere on Earth, which, if that's affected, it would also affect us. So this is an article from NASA Science Beta that I'm going to leave a link below for everything that I'm bringing to you, including this, solar variability and terrestrial climate. So this is talking about how the sun, the energy from the sun, can affect everything in the Earth's climate. Lays out some surprisingly complex ways that solar activity can make itself felt on our planet. So then they go into it, blah, blah, blah. And they're saying they don't really completely understand. No single researcher has the full range of knowledge required to solve the problem. So they're going to get together with a bunch of scientists and try to figure out what's going on. And here's some pictures, more information. I love these kind of terms, thermodynamics or fluid physics. Just because something is complicated doesn't mean it's not real. And they're talking about solar cycle signals are so strong in the Pacific, and that it isn't the same, it doesn't affect the Earth the same all over. Certain areas are affected more than other areas. Okay, so look at this. In recent years, researchers have considered the possibility that the sun plays a role in global warming. Isn't that interesting? So this you can read if you're interested, and let's see what else we can find. This article from CK through 12 is about climate effects on biomes, which is basically a large naturally occurring community of flora and fauna occupying a major habitat, e.g. forest or tundra. So there's like all sorts of biomes on the planet Earth. This article is short, it's got great pictures, information you can share with your kids, but it's not exactly what I want, so let's see what else we can find before my time's up. So this article from Space Daily talks about magnetic storms affect humans as well as telecommunications. It has long been established that magnetic storms not only affect the performance of equipment, blah, 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 but also endanger living organisms. They change blood flow, especially in the capillaries, affect blood pressure, and boost adrenaline. But farther down, so it says this, a magnetic storm is not dangerous for healthy people. This particular person has a lot of explanations of stuff that would interest you along these lines. Grateful for you, and here